Welcome to the Breakdown recorded for October 13th, 2020. This is the show where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world right now that you may not have heard about. Now, these are my opinions on the stories. If you want to learn more about them, I'll put a link to each story in the show notes down below so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. I really do appreciate it because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, and hopefully we can help you learn something new. Now let's get started with it because a lot's been happening in the world, starting off with Dollar General launching a new set of stores. Now, if you've been following Dollar General recently, they are a franchise of stores here in the United States and I think around the world a little bit. That's just been exploding. And now they're launching a new set of stores called pOpshelves that are going to try to target millennials, focusing more heavily on items that are $5 or less, with 95% of their items costing that price, with cleaning supplies, pantry goods, health, beauty, home decor, and seasonal items being the main focus here. A little bit less of more of a grocery kind of general store, and a little bit more of a higher end store is going to be their target here with this. Now this is going to be tested out in a few markets with the goal here of expanding it. If it's successful, they hope to have this spin-off concept of Dollar General live in a handful of markets by the end of this year as a test market to see how it plays out. If this is successful, look for Dollar General to be rolling this out to more and more markets. Dollar General seems to have found a very successful market with very cheap items and an easy in, easy out store layout. Even if it's not maybe the most convenient, it always feels very cluttered, very clustered to me, but it seems to get the job done with convenient store placement close to people and where people want to be, especially in small rural areas. So let me know, are you a fan of Dollar General? Are you excited about a new higher end version of Dollar General, but still with 95% of their items being $5 or less? Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. All right, for the football fans out there, you may have an extra week of football coming your way. With the pandemic happening, affecting some football teams, causing delays, they have gone and had to push back some football games. This has started to make NFL, the NFL as our organization, talk about adding an 18th week, an additional week. For now, it's only talk, and they still say this is a last-ditch effort. But they are looking at possibility of adding an 18th week to make sure they get all their games in before the playoffs, to make sure every team has an equal chance at the playoffs. For now, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out, but it's increasingly looking more likely that there'll be a bonus week of football this year in the NFL. Good news for NFL fans, maybe get some more football in, we'll see. For a while, it looked like we may have football from now all the way through the spring, but now with more and more college football teams rolling back to the fall, it looks less and less likely we'll have spring football, at least not in the numbers we had it before. The MAC and some Division II teams will still be happening in the spring. Most of the major teams have moved back to the fall. So we'll keep a close eye on this. No exact words on how that will exactly work out, who would be in it, but for now, it's an idea that's getting traction and looking more and more likely. All right, the Trump administration has announced that they are going to extend free school lunches, or meals, I should say, not just lunches, through the end of this school year. So good news if you have a child on free school lunches is being extended. With the pandemic, everything happening, that plan is going out. If you want to learn more about that, regardless of politics, I'm really trying to stay away from politics, I really do, but with school lunches and kids, I thought this was one I wanted to share just as an informational. So let's keep politics out of this, but if you have a kid who may qualify for free school lunches or free school dinners and breakfasts, and you want to learn more about it, link in the show notes down below. Trying to do this as a public service announcement, not trying to get political, so please keep that in mind. All right. China has always been notorious for cracking down on the internet. They're very, let's say, not happy about the idea that information there is free and they can't necessarily control it. For a while, there was an app that allowed very easily, without the need of a VPN and other workarounds, allowed their residents to get access to websites that are banned, like Facebook and more. Now that app, after appearing and becoming widely popular, not surprisingly, was shot down. this always brought up a question to me. With a growing number of companies launching space-based internet services that are going to be worldwide, SpaceX being one of the most popular, their Starlink service, where you'll soon get worldwide internet from SpaceLink. How are they going to keep this up? I find it very interesting. With the ability of Chinese residents to soon very easily get high-speed internet that won't be filtered or controlled by their government, how are they going to continue to control that? Will be interesting. Are they going to try to maybe block signals from space to prevent their residents from accessing that? That could have unintended consequences, preventing them from using certain satellite communications and more. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. But this is kind of one of those things. Information wants to be free. We're going to continue to see this back and forth here between groups who are trying to keep information locked down and groups who are trying to keep information free in the weeks and years to come. As technologies continue to move forward, it's going to be, I think, increasingly more difficult to keep information locked down. It's very interesting to see that Great Firewall continue to crumble. It was always kind of the joke. Great Firewall was very successful at first, more so than people would like to admit. Now, though, it's becoming less and less successful. The question is, will a lot of people in China even care anymore? We'll have to wait and see what happens there. All right. Russia has long been a lot more interested in Venus than America has. There's always been a joke that, Venus has been a Russian planet, Mars has been an American planet. As a lot of American research went into Mars, a lot of Russian research went into Venus when it came to space travel. Now, Russia's head of their space program has basically declared Venus a Russian planet and has announced plans to aggressively explore it. Now, this raises questions. A lot of countries have signed up to a treaty that basically says we agree we won't try to own space out there, try to own chunks of other planets. Right now, that's kind of a gentleman's agreement. There's nothing that really enforces that or would prevent other planets or other countries from trying to declare planets or chunks of land their residency. One of the big issues has been the physical ability to get there, physical ability to lay claim to the land and the ground there. With the growth of technology and more, that may be soon becoming a reality. It'll be interesting to see how it happens. But Russia is going to be aggressively expanding their research of Venus, and there's some interesting things there. Now, will the U.S. try to claim more into Mars and more? Could we be seeing a new space race here? We'll see. Again, though, some of this is fun. It's good, big headlines here to say, oh, Russia's claiming Venus. In the end, it's just kind of maybe some political talking, some fun jabs at each other that may happen in a scientific community, and maybe shouldn't be taken all that seriously. It's something to always kind of remember, take all things said with a grain of salt. So keep that in mind. All right, have you ever been very dedicated to do something to the point that you've put yourself in an uncomfortable position? Well, one woman really wanted to get her law license and didn't want to wait to the point where when taking her bar exam to become a lawyer was pushed back to the point right about when she was due to give birth, she still went to take it and actually went into labor during the exam. Originally, Brianna Hill from Chicago was scheduled to take her bar exam at 28 weeks. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic and everything, it was moved back to when she was at 38 weeks, but she still went. Right in the middle of the bar exam, she went into labor and unfortunately had to excuse herself to go give birth. Healthy baby was born, thankfully. Everything is great. Mama and baby are both doing well, and Mama will have to go through that. So very good to see that everything went well, and congratulations to the mom and baby on that. But I always find it interesting, how dedicated are you? I think a lot of people would have said, well, 38 weeks, I'll just reschedule it. Getting the bar, though, becoming a lawyer is a huge accomplishment, something a lot of people work their entire lives for. And it's not something, you can just do whenever. So I can understand the desire to go do it without wanting to reschedule it. It's very interesting, though. All right, next one up is a big question mark. Real or staged? TMZ reported this. This was posted on social media. I thought it was very interesting. but raises the question of the biggest bridezilla ever, or just a desperate attempt to get social media attention. Very possible on both. One woman, I'm not even going to give a lot of credence to this, but you can find it more down in the show notes if you want to learn more about it. But one woman apparently was quite fed up after waiting 2 years of being engaged to get married. Got dressed up in her wedding gown, found a pastor to follow her, and cornered her fiance at work at a Target and demanded he marry her then and there, or the wedding and engagement would not happen. A lot of social media followers have questioned how legitimate this was, but I do kind of know some people who would probably do this after waiting for 2 years, and I do know people who would put others through 2 years of waiting. So multiple customers in the Target posted the event to social media with her in a full-on wedding gown, insisting he marry her then and there or end the relationship. So, question to everybody for the day: do you believe it was real, or do you believe it was more of a social media attempt to get attention, maybe get some social media following? Seeing things like that more and more. Staged events like this by amateurs in an attempt to become publicly famous. Let me know what you think there. All right, I just finished a great book series I really wanted to recommend. It's the We Are Bob series. A absolutely amazing sci-fi series. Very fun, very fast-paced, very enjoyable, well-written read. If you enjoy an enjoyable science fiction story, this is a highly enjoyable, fun look at human culture, human minds, human experiences, and space exploration. We Are Bob, link in the show notes, affiliate link. Does help us out a little bit. Down in the show notes down below. All right, everybody, I hope you all have a fantastic day. I hope you all take care. Thank you, everybody, for your support. I hope you're enjoying all the new content we're publishing out here. So be safe, take care. I'll see you all tomorrow for another video.